worst nightmare. Because liberals are poisoning people's minds without a break, there are 14 organizations planning to protest against President Trump's rally in Phoenix on Tuesday. The president is going to be over there at the Phoenix Convention Center to hold a rally. According to sources, the anti-Trump groups are planning to scream at the arena 1 hour before the president steps on the stage. Fortunately, over there a counter-protest will occur in support of the president. IDRA reports that when the Bikers for Trump Arizona heard about the planned protests, they sent out a call to action to members. Donald Trump is coming to the Phoenix Convention Center to hold a rally. There have been plans for Charlottesville sympathizers to protest. We need our bikers to show up and keep people safe. They are supposed to start at 6 o'clock. We think we need to be there by at least 4 o'clock. That is when the doors open. If there are people outside waiting to get in, we don't want anyone to harass them. Protesters have a right to protest, but they don't have a right to threaten or intimidate. That is why we need to be there. One of the group's members, Jim Williams, told KPHO-TV they aren't attending the rally to start anything. We don't want anybody hurt, we don't anybody intimidated or anybody to stay away from the rally because they're afraid there's going to be some violence showing up, Williams added. Additionally, another group is planning a Stand for Patriotism rally to counter what organizers are calling anti-American and hate groups. Let's counter-protest them and stand up for God and country, the organizers of the rally stated. Hopefully, the dueling protests will remain peaceful, but the bikers and pro-America protesters will be countered by groups like Democratic Socialists of Phoenix and Desert Progressives, according to the Washington Times. Trump is going to be so much happy after hearing this. The liberals are funding the protests in order to harm him, and their people only listen to their orders. Unlike the people who are Trump supporters and proud patriots. They will always be there to support him because they love him. Good luck against these bikers. Barack Obama humiliated in front of the world as Jeff Foxworthy calls him out. Internet goes crazy. Stand-up comedian Jeff Foxworthy is a true patriot who is tired of how liberals are trying to destroy America. Former President Barack Obama changed America into a society where people don't work hard nor they want to. As a result, Foxworthy wrote his opinion on Facebook about the former president and the condition that our country is in. If you can get arrested for hunting or fishing without a license, but not for entering and remaining in the country illegally, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If you have to get your parents' permission to go on a field trip or to take an aspirin in school, but not to get an abortion, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If you must show your identification to board an airplane, cash a check, buy liquor, or check out a library book and rent a video, but not to vote for who runs the government, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If the government wants to prevent stable, law-abiding citizens from owning gun magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, but gives 20 F-16 fighter jets to the crazy new leaders in Egypt, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If, in the nation's largest city, you can buy 2 16-ounce sodas, but not one 24-ounce soda, because 24 ounces of a sugary drink might make you fat, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If an 80-year-old woman who is confined to a wheelchair or a 3-year-old girl can be strip-searched by the TSA at the airport, but a woman in a burqa or a hijab is only subject to having her neck and head searched, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. If your government believes that the best way to eradicate trillions of dollars of debt is to spend trillions more, you might live in a nation that was founded by geniuses but is run by idiots. Although these comments will make you laugh, it is sad that America has fallen this far. Our country was founded by geniuses but run by idiots. However, our country got a new real leader who will make America great again. Breaking: Trump busts state giving $72 million in Medicaid to ineligible people. The Department of Health and Human Services recently released an audit which says that almost $72 million in Medicaid payments were given to ineligible people in Kentucky. The state didn't determine the eligibility status for Medicaid benefits, and the agency didn't keep paperwork about citizenship status. Although states must verify the citizenship status of the people who want to receive Medicaid benefits, Kentucky determined the eligibility status for Medicaid benefits without any documentation. Free Beacon reports, the state agency did not always meet federal and state requirements when making eligibility determinations because of both human and system errors, the report states. The state agency did not always perform, or maintain documentation that it had performed, identity proofing because of both human and system errors related to processes implemented in response to the ACA that affected eligibility determinations for non-newly eligible Medicaid applicants. If a person applies for Medicaid benefits through the state marketplace, the person must go through identity proofing. Although the person should give their birth date and social security number during the application, the audit discovered that the state didn't provide documentation for 13 beneficiaries. On the basis of our sample results, we estimated that during our 6-month audit period, approximately 8% of non-newly eligible beneficiaries in Kentucky were potentially ineligible, and approximately 3% of federal payments were made to those beneficiaries, the report states. As a result, we estimated that Kentucky made federal Medicaid payments on behalf of 69,931 potentially ineligible beneficiaries totaling $72,763,721, Free Beacon reports. The auditors and the state agency suggested Kentucky provide the documentation that shows verified citizenship and identity. According to Stephen Miller, the commissioner at the state agency, the Kentucky Department for Medicaid Services admitted that mistakes were made. Free Beacon reports, when informed of the issue, the Department for Medicaid Services utilized staff communications and training to reinforce correct procedures. The state appreciates the opportunity to comment on your recommendations, Miller said. We believe the issues identified have been successfully corrected. It is not fair that some people pay for Medicaid benefits while others don't and still receive it. Hopefully, Kentucky will correct this mistake soon. Chuck Schumer kicked off high horse by Native American congressman over Confederate statues. The Democrats will stop at nothing to spread their hysteria and bad ideas to every corner of America. They seek nothing else than to remake this great country. What they fail to grasp is that history is a valuable thing and should be cherished, warts and all. Advertisement. For it makes us who we are, it shows how far we have come. Progress is hard and is often bloody, but the most recent crusade against Confederate statues by Chuck Schumer and the rest of the Democrats is nothing less than Big Brother gone horribly bad. And to shame them and kick their little arrogant butts right off their high horse is none other than Dem Congressman Representative Markwayne Mullin. Advertisement. Who just happens to have Native American blood, Cherokee to be exact, and has wise words for Schumer and all the liberals. He wrote an op-ed for Fox News and said, "Days ago, my colleague in the Senate, Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, announced that he plans to introduce legislation that would remove all of the statues in the U.S. Capitol that honored Confederate soldiers. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has also called for the elimination of such statues. As if Congress doesn't have enough to do than pick up this dumb issue." He continued. "As a Cherokee, I can attest to the fact that Native Americans have been on the losing side of history. Our rights have been infringed upon, our treaties have been broken, our culture has been stolen, and our tribes have been decimated at the hands of our own United States government. Native Americans have faced centuries of atrocities to their people, their land, and their culture, all under various presidents who took an oath of office to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. When we censor our history by disguising our scars, we belittle the struggles our ancestors fought so hard to overcome. America doesn't cower behind political correctness. It defiantly and courageously moves forward, with its history as a reminder of where we have been. Correct. If you do not remember your history, you are destined to repeat it. It is that simple. He continued, taking a well-deserved swipe at Colin Kaepernick. Still, we have professional athletes like Colin Kaepernick who refused to stand during the national anthem, and others who stand in solidarity with him in protest of the United States. To what end? To protest this country, a country that I love and my friends have died to defend? As an American, you have the right to protest me, or another individual, or a group, but I believe that protesting the United States for the mistakes it has made, when it gave you the freedom to do so in the first place, is disrespectful. Should we erase our history in the name of being politically correct? Can we not all agree that it is what shaped our country to be the great nation it is today? One that we know to be full of freedoms, liberties, and rights that other nations only dream of? Fox News ruins Democrats for good, reveals one brutal fact they don't want out. The Democrats will never remember or confess their crimes, but that is not relevant because in fact there are people who will remind them of their mistakes every single day. The incident in Charlottesville remains the worst thing that happened in our country for the last 10 years. The violence that happened over there ended up with the death of one woman. Everything that Trump said was right. Both sides were responsible, and after hearing this, liberals went crazy. They will never admit that Trump was right, and now they want to remove every single Confederate memorial. Jesse Waters from Fox News had enough and splashed the truth right in their lying faces. Democrats are using Confederate memorials to slam President Trump and his supporters. They needed a reason to trigger anger in people, and it seems like they have found a good one. Fox News host Jesse Waters spoke in the name of all patriots, added World Politicus. Waters reminded people that destroying monuments isn't what Americans do. The race riots in Charlottesville were followed with the removal of several statues of Confederate generals, and the bust of Abraham Lincoln was also defaced. Waters reminded people of one simple fact, and it's sad at all. Let's also remember that all of these Confederate war heroes were Democrats. Democrats were the party of slavery, Waters tweeted. Maybe the left wants to tear down these statues so the country forgets that the Democratic Party enslaved black people. But I actually think many on the left want to destroy any monument of revered historical American leaders, the host noted. Jesse Waters spoke with his heart, and patriots all over the country will support his comments because they know that this is the truth. Democrats are not going to be so happy after hearing this, but that is the point. They do not deserve anything due to their sick actions against this nation.